I think you have to bear in mind, let's go back to the last time Fnatic played against GX. You go, oh, 2-1. That's fairly close. Fnatic had Desmo playing. They beat them with Desmo.
Yeah.
So they're probably going to beat them when they have one of the better players of GX and GX have a stand-in. I'd say odds on.
I'm curious to see, though, Cloud, having been on that roster since we saw it there, since the beginning of partnership, but also now been leading that roster for quite a while, joining into Fnatic, joining their system. It'll be something to keep an eye on, sort of how he exists within that system, whether he contributes or detracts from it. You know, an extra voice can be an upside, but can also add to the cacophony for Fnatic. Losing a player early on, and his crash, he's down. Rotations towards the B site, confident that Alfier can stand his ground alone. He can't get out of there. He's stuck down below, but has some trips in front to try to ease the blow of these attackers rushing in.
Not a whole lot of spots for him to play around. Maybe try and use that trip to help him out a little bit, but they are going to be looking to try and clear him, and it's only going to be a dink, in fact, not even the kill. Boaster around the corner with the Sheriff. A couple of low players, but I think they've definitely heard him drop. Look to swarm together over on the GX side. And leaves just Cloud remaining. It'll be one hell of a way to kick off his debut versus XT. 1v5? No, absolutely nothing. Instead, it's an in-zone flawless. And Net to close out with a double on his first round in EMEA.
So, you know, my concern when I look at Fnatic isn't that Cloud is going to come in and start, you know, counter-calling and undermining Boaster's leadership. That I won't disrespect Cloud by even putting that forward as a possibility. What I don't want to see, though,
let's go, flawless, yeah?
Is somebody with his caliber and his expertise step back too much, be afraid to contribute too much into the system. And I think finding that balance of not overcalling, not having too loud a voice to drown the others out, but contributing to the system instead of just existing in it, I think that will be his challenge. Joining this, we're no doubt we will have many different ideas. For Fnatic, this one, the idea is to take an eco. Single pistol bought up onto Alfier. Other than that, Bandit, it is classics across the board. And what should be an easy enough follow-up. GX are giving themselves a safety net. They can lose a player or two and still come out of this smelling the roses with the two Sheriffs they've brought through. And I think the main thing here is they're just early on, trying to catch any aggression, trying to figure out where the stack is, and late on, with those disadvantages, you really want to group up and hit this as a blob.
Yeah. One of the more interesting things for me as well coming into this game for GX is, yeah, sure, they've got a stand-in, but I was also expecting Net and Flickless to be playing the other roles. Like I expected, I think in recent times we've seen Net playing a bit more of the controller, and Flickless is someone I've loved seeing on Initiator, although he normally was on something like a Flash Initiator, like a KO, because they have Cloud, who normally plays the Sova. So definitely interested to see how that works out for them going forward, but so far so good. Obviously Fnatic hoping for a little bit of additional damage, drop some of those weapons. It was only pistols on the players they've lost so far. And they can afford one more death. Kind of hoping though that maybe Jesse gets that kill and gets towards his ult.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he doesn't even chuck this weapon over to Flickless and go hunting down himself. 2 away from a run it back. Even him dying is going to be worthwhile, but instead he grabs himself the kill nice and clean. Patience on display as GX reach 2, 4 players left alive. A lot of orbs towards Jesse. I think he's just 1 away from the run it back now. This is definitely about as good of a start as you can hope for on that attack side.
Yeah, for sure. And I think as well, obviously you're going to give the caveat over to Giant X that if this series doesn't go their way, there's obvious reasons why. For Fnatic, for me, this needs to be a statement victory. Like, you've had a lot of time, you've had preparation, you've got a new player who I think most people are excited about. You even seem to be maybe cleaning up some of the roles as well with Alpha back on Senti. I kind of want this to be dominant.
And to be honest, if there's any team that you should be beating after picking up Cloud, it is his X team that he was the IGL of that you beat last time. For GX, made it to the site, but trouble getting anything done there as it seems like they'll lose every single fight, at least to start, maybe to finish as well. Nets alone, barely a lick of damage delivered.
Not bad.
Does Fnatic find a flawless?
Yeah, another in-zone flawless. That's 2 in 3 rounds. In-zone definitely getting their money's worth already from VCT EMEA. But yeah, that was one way to shut me up for sure. It's just come in and immediately hold down that site like it was absolutely nothing, of course. We are going to see the buyback up into the next round, but incredibly comfortable from FNC in this round. But that's it. This is where we get the buy. This is where we get the run it back. We now look at Jesse with the potential here, because although for the rest of GX it's a caveat, for him this is a chance to sort of show what he's got, make impact within this team, and maybe if someone else is looking at a roster move, they might think to get you.
Yeah, on the Phoenix of all, this is where we expect that impact. Rifle round for GX, full buy, and the execute about to come through. The run it back expected to be the tip of the spear. And there it is, activated. Cloud, the one left to try to slow them down, but he's got support boasters. Paranoia blinded them, and Kayak swung in from the side. The triple kill. It was the ultimate of Jesse taken down for the first, but the other two will not be coming back. And Fnatic find themselves in a 5v3. The spike back in the spawn. GX with nothing to show.
Yeah, this can always be the sort of difficult part of this attack side, especially with the amount of information that you're going to have over on the defense for Fnatic. You have the deep cam already placed within B. You're able to get men over on the board on that A site quite early. And well, there's still a trip there.
30 seconds left.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. They couldn't get out. Your first player goes up and over to dash in, right? And you have this nade come through, landing inside that choke point. It's already making it a problem. As soon as you lose this control, no one can flood out to help. But at least you've got a player on Jenny, right? Just wait out the nade and then go help him. Paranoia comes swinging in from backside. It's over.
Left.
Your guy on site's blind. Everybody further back just got smoked off, is naded. There's a trip in the way as well that the Phoenix ult might have wanted to do something about if Kayak hadn't come swinging in the second they tripped it. Clean as can be from Fnatic, and yet they did have 3 players on site. They had utility just go through as the push came in. The timing was perfect. I didn't even notice the stun from Kayak or the spam being that quick. It was the second he got revealed, and Flickless is taken down alongside it. That is unlucky for GX to lose the second player to it, but at the end of the day, Fnatic were more than ready. You look at how quickly they pounced there. The trap was activated, and seconds later, GX's chances were dead.
Yeah, I think it's easy to forget, even though we always talk about the caliber of the players on the Fnatic side, that even though they didn't make it, one of the top-rated, top ACS, top ADR players of the last stage was Kayak. He was still frying under pressure early. I don't know how he survived even that long. The flash was perfect from Jesse, and that's a pretty decent man to shut down the Cast of the Cursor. Clearly not gone anywhere. As I talked about how good he was, and he's immediately dead. The fact is, though, Fnatic are not giving up this space. They've done a hell of a lot of damage already onto Ara. And with the trade found from Alpha yet, that advantage is gone.
Yeah, every 30 seconds, Ara's been taking a burst of ammo to the chest, down to 30 HP. Numbers even, but weaponry and health certainly sitting comfortably in Fnatic's favor now. Ara spotted the trip. That's probably going to take a rotation off this A side. It should at least. And for GX, they're going to gamble on it. Spike starting to move back in this direction. Net clearing out the space, and then Jesse is sent to try to catch that rotation to find those players moving across, but no one's shown anything. Fnatic lost info in B main.
Take flight.
And sat with 3 players on this A side. This is going to be frustrating for GX when they realize, but they're running into the numbers.
Okay, Ara's done well. Anything more would be nice. Jesse also winning the fight. Now Crashy's left alone. Maybe this was the weaker of the site. The other one had Alpha Air on it, you know how good he could be. And now he has to try and find a clutch scenario. The last time I watched him play this map, he was unstoppable, but not this time. Good dart, good shot from Ara. And from a position of running into the site with 15 seconds left, they come out smelling the roses.
Yeah, 20 seconds, they're still on short, just making it through the tree. That definitely didn't look like it was going to go their way for a moment. And for Jesse, it started with that fight against
this
Kayak.
fight.
Great flash.
Ara has 30 health and wins a fight at long range. With
straight to the bandit. It can win on range, it can do that damage, but it shouldn't have. And for Fnatic, they know that was a round that should have been theirs. But a cost paid now as GX maintain the lead, bringing it up 3-2. An operator for Fnatic. This is going to be an attempt to change things around mid early. You can see Kayak is in a spot that he can't get much done from. And now the pressure's on for Boaster. They're going to dump utility just because of that pressure put on him. This is great for GX. They've traded out a recon for a nade and a paranoia. And map control, although they have to confirm that with the hot hands.
Another orb for Jesse. That will now leave him one away. And this is quite a common strategy we see throughout. Early control towards A, claim an orb, have your lurker spot for any aggression, and then maybe go back and get the other orb if it's still there, which obviously they'll have the information of. So it gives an opportunity to basically get Jesse 2 free orbs every single round and get that ultimate on rapidly.
Well, yeah, as you say, the 2 orbs here is going to be enough for Jesse to have the run it back. Fnatic's setup towards this B site will be tested. Kayak with the operators on the other side of the map. He's waiting for them to walk up short, but they are coming nowhere near it. In fact, they're going straight into the B site.
Get out of my way.
Where Fnatic have already turtled, play back towards the boathouse. Ara making his way up close, is about to be challenged by Alpha. The second player sitting back wasn't expected, but only gets the one for GX. Plan now, guaranteed, and net look to get so much more. Still, one should be good enough.
Gotta be careful of the reveal, but nobody going down to it. Operator retrieve, nice spam from Cloud. That makes it interesting now. Into a 2v2. Flickless up close, but he's instant with the shot. Expecting a swing was Kayak trying to watch for the next player, but instead a reposition leaves Kayak in what seems now like an unlikely scenario. He'd need a mistake. That operator holds a lot more value. And I wonder if there's going to be a swing just to put him down. Nice close from Flickless. And a 4-2 lead now for GX. We said that we wanted a statement victory for Fnatic, and thus far, sure, their 2 rounds have been statements. 0 players dying. But the other 4, not so much.
I guess this is the problem, though. Like, when you run one of these cookie-cutter comps, again, the Neon being a little bit different, but other than that, this is something the players will have years of experience coming up against. You don't really have the option to surprise them at all, and that is kind of what you expect when it comes to Ascent. But the added flair for GX and having that Phoenix even alone, we've seen how much it can chop and change how a map is played. And here on the attack side, it's making a huge difference. They didn't even use the biggest strength of this composition, having the run it back. It wasn't online on the push
they
into
didn't
the
get
site.
the orb. They didn't bother.
But this time, it is online right off rip. And this is a crucial round for Fnatic. They've put all their credits into it. Lose this, and GX take a good lead and turn it into a great one.
The setup has switched. Alpha going to be holding down that A site now, and basically just playing info from Crashies. A few ults very close to being online as well for Fnatic, so it's going to be a swing round based on economy, as you said, but also based on those ultimates. An early rotation, leaving Alpha a little bit more alone, but not a whole lot being given over by GX. They're playing very passively, rotating around the back of the map, so they're not being caught by darts, they're not being caught by knives, so it's very difficult using all of those initiators plus Senti to actually get anything. They don't know right now.
Well, that's it. They're hoping on this attack side that Fnatic get impatient and move forward, look for information. When they don't, fine, we'll push with 30 seconds left because we've got to run it back to work with. They can break through this defense, and they've done just that, already making it to the site. Still, that trip's going to be up. Alpha's managed to shut down Jesse's ult, but the spike is on site. It should be planted fairly soon, but that's it down. Now, it's on Ara to plant the spike with 7 seconds. He has to have bodyguards, but he will be defended just long enough. Still, Boaster slipped through. Managed to leave it down to just west side, then the herd to 1 and deal with the last as well. A big round from Boaster. Fnatic desperately needed this.
Yeah, no, he'd been very quiet individually, and I think that's one of the biggest critiques that always seems to come his way is when he's not fragging and you see him lower on the board, but this was an important round for them, and I think the little bit of panic that was caused by Alfia dropping the spike definitely gave them a little bit of additional space, allowed him to get back into the site in general, but also just maneuver around the back.
Baby.
And wow, he's even got Hype Man Cloud ready to go. Third round for Fnatic. 4 ultimates for them to play with as well. I said it was crunch time in terms of ults, but actually Fnatic didn't really use any of theirs.
Careful now. Indeed, it felt like a big round for GX. But it doesn't work out. Now, much more pacey attack. They're already in the A side. Hunter's Fury going to be activated. Good tags. That's a double. The damage onto one more. That's huge. Flickless and West side. Tagged heavy. Ara not too healthy either. Yeah, they'll get the site, but they are way behind in these fights. Fnatic, though, will bide their time in going for this retake. Hunter's Fury through, guarantees it, actually gets a tag and a kill. That's huge for Ned.
He's done well. HP still favored. And now Cloud's caught another, and that gives him his ultimate. They still haven't managed to get themselves into a post plant just yet. They're looking for a way back into the round. Hoping that someone gifts it to them. Hoping for a mistake, but as you sort of mentioned, both teams have been happy to be patient. Instead, though, it's the defense that looks to make a move. No plant to be had. Net revealed and left out in the cold. Well, Alfia looks to give him a warm hug.
Yeah, Cloud just entered full BS mode there. That's 2 players. The second was revealed, at least. I'll give him that. The first, I don't believe, was. He just shot him straight through. Yeah, look at that. That's ridiculous. The second was revealed, you know, so it's not as impressive, but 2 in 1 round, straight through that floor. It doesn't feel good to be GX in a moment like that.
Even the second one wasn't the immediate reveal. He waited. The guy could have moved. He just went, yep, there.
This goes here. This goes here.
Oh, you love to have those kind of rounds.
Yeah, as a wise man once said, wallbang. 4 to 4. This is where the economy now hits the ground for GX. And unfortunately, they don't have any of those ultimates to pad the gap either. Expectation is this will be where the economy can grow a little bit for Fnatic, and well, with Alfia, Kayak, and well, I've given Alfia a kill before he's actually got it, but I just assumed he would get Ara, but I was wrong. My bad. Yeah,
you were very wrong.
Sorry, I'm just gonna go sit in the corner.
About as wrong as you could be. Now GX with a chance to take the A site. Cloud still watching the
cover going out.
Now GX in with a chance to take the A site as Cloud is out of the round, and the plant should be found. What should have been Ara dead in the dirt. In fact, in Tom's mind, it already was. Now it's Ara in with a chance for a very late lurk. Oh my goodness, the door is wide open. This man should have been a dead man walking, a corpse.
They're gonna push them back.
But he's still breathing. They're buying time. This is Ara's moment to strike, and he'll get him. He'll get him eventually. A bit of showmanship, and his knife's out. Oh, God. It's a horrible round for Ara. But he should have been dead before he got anything. 2, and he's given them a chance and opportunity. Oh, my goodness, it's messy. But Net got there in the end. Flickless, last man standing. The spike needs to be defused. The one-way smoke gives him a chance to strike from the side to pull Crashies off the defuse, and now all he has to do is run that clock down. Crashies, 4 kills, but it is not enough as GX make it to 5.
I'm still sat in the corner.
See,
it's the mode of thrifty, you know. I'm sorry, Alfia. I said you had the kill.
I'm gonna say you cost them that round, Tom. That is on you.
Maybe.
You in this very game 2 rounds ago, you said the castle curse is real.
Can we stop?
And then you
because
did that.
I'm gonna end up getting blocked by Fnatic again. Again.
Oh, they unblocked you.
They did unblock me.
That was quite kind.
Yeah, Devad found some
second
kindness in his heart, and then
you got
that,
a second
that kindness
chance, and you learned nothing.
Is about to dissipate. Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened in that round. It's one that, you know, Fnatic fans always have to live on the edge with supporting their team. I think that tipped me over the edge a little bit. You said it was a messy round, and honestly, I've had enough of messy from yesterday. I didn't want to see anything more, but, you know.
I must wait a moment.
What a day it was.
Which one, today or yesterday? I'm unhappy with both.
Yesterday for me, but for Fnatic today might be a day to remember. They managed to recover this. put themselves back to winning ways, and if they don't, it certainly will be one to remember, or one they'll be forced to. Looking to equalize, great flash through from Cloud. The paranoia might buy a little bit of time, but Flickless, he's on borrowed time. 14 HP. Not long for this world are the entirety of GX with a round win for Fnatic. We're back to neck and neck.
What I am enjoying from this game so far, though, is seeing, firstly, Cloud incredibly happy.
Yeah.
I'll say the fact that the second he signed, he was doing TikTok dances kind of gave me everything I need to know about how he was going to be in this squad. But I think also, like we talked about, like, okay, maybe he can second call, maybe he can give additional thing. The other fun thing about him in this team is he doesn't have to do any of that. He could just shoot, which if you go
towards this Sentinel diversity, this is a man that I want to see him committed to that role. Committed to our role, actually. I don't mind if it's the Phoenix. I don't mind if we're having a duelist arc, but Westside's Sentinel, Westside's Viper, sensational. And it's just because he's so reliable on his own. He makes great decisions, and when he takes risks, he can back them up almost every time. He's a guy that knows his limits and plays to them. So I really enjoy watching him play. But for Fnatic, looking for 6, looking for the lead at last, and it will be a big burst towards this A site. I'm not sure they're ready for it, especially not with the ult leading the way, but the paranoia will at least buy them time. Great wall by Jesse, and he's through! The flash doesn't buy him enough time, though. The Blade Storm from Ara only gets 1, and Fnatic have weathered the storm.
Yeah, it was a low buy for GX, so obviously I was going into this round thinking they were going to win it. But,
Spike down A.
you know, not this time. Leaves just Jesse. Trying to find 4, and Cloud really is just having a field day now. A bit of a slower start for him alongside Boaster, but both have had a comeback since they were at a deficit. And now look to take the lead going into the half. And I will say, one of the things that you can see with a new IGL and a stand-in player is maybe the attack side don't look so bad, because you just go, we're going to do this, I need you to do this, and that is the round. That's what you attempt. I think on defense, having that same level of synergy, at least in my eyes, is a little bit more difficult. I think it does depend on the team, but especially when you're playing defensive side Phoenix, that's where I really want to see if Jesse's still going to be able to have the fairly decent performance he is currently having.
Well, yeah, instead of calling your playbook, you're countering theirs when you swap sides. It does definitely make a big difference, and for GX, a test that they will be taking. The question is whether it's on stable, even ground, or whether the high ground relies on Fnatic, or sits with Fnatic. They're spread out. To start this round, the defensive side, they are taking a lane each and waiting. It's not what I expect to see out of the last round, in all honesty. No real information. Kayak's sitting passively in wine. They don't even spot them on short until they'd be around the corner. It means the rotations come in much slower, yet still, GX are moving towards the site with 2 players boathouse and containment there for Cloud.
Ara's trying to make his way through. In fact, they're all trying to make their way through. They're chasing them down. They're hunting their ex-teammate. But it's Boaster. We'll keep things even, and Crashies isn't done. This has turned into a game of deathmatch, and well, unless Cloud's going to be brought back, which he is not, it's going to come down to the 1 versus 1. Kayak versus Net, New Boy versus Staple. All popped. Maybe just trying to force Net to take a risk. The overdrive will fade. It doesn't seem like Kayak, at least for now, has the idea of where Net has gone. Trying to figure this one out. Only 1 angle left to clear, but he's run out of bullets in the clip! He's gone in with no ammo left! It's a Red Bull clutch for Net! Well, it's gonna be the half done in the favor of no one. It's even.
Neck and neck at the half, as we see Cloud taking on his former teammates. And for now, there's no way to separate them. You think he's got the blueprints, he knows his way around the house. Well, we'll find out if he does after the break. Before that, though, or during that, let's have a listen in to what he had to say ahead of this match. GX on the defensive side, and this is really where the big test for a squad like this with the stand-in is expected to be.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. And I think always going up against Fnatic when it comes to those attack side calls, it can be relatively difficult. And, well, maybe the calls don't mean anything. We're going into the comms.
Hey guys. The mid link. They're holding right now.
Yeah, I'm going into A main, bro.
Mid plate, boys.
I'm just gonna find middle.
We probably do the same as us, no? Could be towards B.
Yeah.
Nothing A. Yeah, nothing A.
Yeah.
Be on one body.
Smoke B. Blind.
Yeah, coming.
One middle. One middle.
Enemy remaining.
I'll call planner.
Well, it's been a tough round for GX so far.
Yeah.
Unable to find their footing, picked
It was
apart.
a tough first 5 seconds.
Yeah, indeed. And Kayak finding that double. Was it collateral or a double? It's collat, right?
I'll be
like
honest,
it.
it was so fast I don't even know.
Well, they're even lined up on the minimap. X marks the spot where this round fell apart for GX. And now finally, it comes to its end. An in-zone flawless for Fnatic to take the lead.
Yeah, that was one hell of a way to start out their attack side. And there we go. Yeah, it was a collide. It was 2 bullet shot, but a little bit of tickle damage and then just a lovely little shot connected moments later. A very clean pistol coming in for the Fnatic side. Of course, they did lose the last one in the last half.
Yes,
but I do sit here and go again.
Tanaramsky, everybody. Legendary.
I think the expectation is for Fnatic to win this game. We're kind of looking at how cleanly they're able to do it.
I love that yes, baby from Boaster. Real Austin Powers energy. That's the vibe he gives off anyways.
Is the glasses giving that off as well?
It is. It is. It's a whole package
Oh
piece.
my
It's
God.
GX finding 2 right off rip. And well, Fnatic not going to be all too happy about how this one started out. GX find themselves a
What's
rifle.
going on?
Net wins a fight on range. And well, the road to recovery for Fnatic now. 2 rifles for them, 2 for their opponents. Double the manpower on that defensive side. And they're not even going to risk taking the extra rifle, it seems.
Planted.
All right, with how they've been playing with the classics, it doesn't look like they need it. Those were clean fights, great setup, great early flashes as well. The last 2, Alfia and Cloud.
Where's the sheriff?
As they look to push back through. First one goes their way,
Oh
but
my
Jesse is on
goodness.
fire. Another couple to close out. 3 players standing. And correct me if I'm wrong, because maybe I'm wrong. That was 5 classics.
Yeah.
Thrifty.
Yeah, it was getting the kills at least, it was.
And they got on a Motor Thrifty off of 5 classics.
Just a full A main push. Not being caught. There was a reveal sent through, but it went to Narnia, mate. They're clearing wine with the reveal.
I will say the
Assuming
dart
that
on
it
the
was-
other side, very nice.
Yeah. But for Fnatic, that's such a weird set of priorities, and I think they just got ahead of themselves a little bit there. They gave GX, or assumed GX would have some respect for them. They're looking to see if there's a little ratty spot, a little trap being set up. They didn't expect the full-on aggression. And that gives GX now a chance to equalize, keep this even. Good damage early onto Alpha. The idea there was just to break a trip, but instead they've done a lot of damage to that man and left him 1 shot to an outlaw. Not that it matters. Weapon on the floor, Ara down, and now pressure applied back from Fnatic. The low buys are dangerous so far in this game. Net blinded up will be dealt with. The trades coming in favor of the attacking side. West side caught in the corner. He's down on 20 HP. He'll be traded out as well. And GX, a little taste of their own medicine. They're in a 2v3.
Oh, an opportunity for Jesse.
Going up.
A lot of damage taken.
Doesn't even get the heal.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think he put it a little bit further than he meant, but there you go. He's got the heal now. Shock dart. Looked like it could have cleared him, and the second one almost does. That extra heal was kept him alive, but they don't expect Kayak. It's going to be another remote of Thrifty. Welcome back, Fnatic fans. Welcome back, GX fans. We are right in the thick of it again. Who's feeling happy?
The roster might have changed for GX, but their performance in low-buy rounds certainly didn't. Yet Fnatic take a leaf out of their book in this round. This is pure chaos.
Come on, come on. Welcome to EMEA.
It's the 2nd time now we've seen Kayak in this game, in this map alone, swing out from a smoke and catch GX looking completely the other way. It's got to be annoying to see him have that much success. Other than that, though, he has been kind of shut down. Like, I think GX have been doing the hard work in a lot of these rounds. Then falling over at the basics. Anti-Eco lost. Them left down to a very mixed buy, but one where they've got to run it back, and frankly, I don't know what to expect.
I'm out of here. Sock it.
Oh. Flash out. Ooh, that one's not quite gone far enough. Fight's really not pretty, but, you know, Fnatic are getting the job done. Finally, it looks like the team with the bye might be about to win the round. You never know. Maybe West Side's about to 1v5 while they have the spike down on the other side of the map.
Even then, I think they win this round.
Oh.
Because of a
Good
couple
orb management.
couple of centimeters at best saved them there. Like the fact of Jesse blinding himself on short, kind of giving away the game just a little bit. If he was an inch forward, that flash goes around the corner. The two players are fully blind as they were, and then they can actually pounce on them. And that, I think, might have turned the round into favor for GX. Instead, it staggered the push. It left the guys on mid getting shredded without any pressure applied behind. And Fnatic are easily able to recover on what is ultimately a rush where they tripped over themselves. For Westside, saving this weapon might even be impossible. He is being hunted down. Is surrounded already, has to fight at least one more player before he's scot-free. And they are waiting to fight that together. Crashies can't swing in time, but Cloud's there. 9-7. Fnatic take the lead. And look, all of the issues of this map can be forgotten if they recover it from this point forward.
Which team's that?
Oh, we didn't need to show that, did we? Well, really, that's both teams, but I'm more so speaking about Fnatic is coming in. It would be kind of a disgrace for them to change coaching staff, have the idea of the revitalized, fixed roster be to take the IGL of another team, then see that other team come in with a stand-in as well, and then beat you. I think even this being close is
but that's what I was going to say.
A bit embarrassing.
We'll all be forgiven. It's got me feeling a little bit nervous.
If they dominate map 2, you know, we can be like, oh, it was GX's map pick, and it was a slow start. You know, it's Fnatic slow starts. That's what they do. We can still get out of this
slow start at the beginning of the year. They went 5-0 in groups to stage 1. This is groups again. I expect them to dominate.
Yeah, but they've just made a big change. They've got Cloud in there. Who knows if he's going to be the savior? Or Desmo. You say that as if Desmo's not one of the best Phoenixes we've ever seen on this stage, Tom. And frankly, I won't take that disrespect.
He wasn't playing Phoenix.
Maps he lost, it wasn't his fault. Nice shot by Ara. It's a blind fire that takes down Alpha, but an immediate resurgence from Fnatic. The site secured, but the spam's doing damage. It's Kayak who's picking up all the pieces. One more on offer, but Ara's giving nothing away.
Well, Cloud versus old team. Two of his old teammates.
Joke's over.
And Jesse. And they're going to just try and make sure they get this over the line, but he's managed to bypass. They're going to be careful. They're going to defend. And while Jesse comes back to defend the exact position he was about to disappear and go back to, it will be the defusal. It will be an 8th round and a response from Giant X. They are definitely not letting this one go without a fight. And honestly, like, yeah, sure, there's been some scrappy, messy rounds. I can forgive them for that with all the circumstances they're coming in with, but honestly, at least on individual levels, I think Jesse's looked very good.
Yeah.
I think other than that singular flash, I actually think his flashes have been good throughout the map so far. That was more of a rare mistake rather than the norm. And especially with him not necessarily playing Duelist all too often, I believe he normally plays smokes.
Yeah, the one flash was funny, but it has been a flash in the pan when it comes to mistakes. Well, let's see how Fnatic deal with this. A chance to push up to double digits. Let's jump in with the comms.
She can't dash, boys. I'm gonna blind him. Ready? Blinding.
Oops. My ult.
Lane. On the right. And stairs. I got him. Stairs.
Jocking him. Just hold.
Zero. I can see his foot.
They're gonna, bro.
Save if we can.
Maybe I could just put Cage in front of me, bro.
I should have blinded you. I was throwing a smoke. Fortunate, because
Waves crashing against the coast there for Fnatic. GX stands strong and 9 rounds seemingly locked in at this point. It's a solid response from this squad. And for GX, like we said, coming into this matchup, having lost their IGL to Fnatic and having to play with a stand-in on top of that. And then when you look at the roster that they've got, the very many overlapping and dare I say conflicting roles, for them to come in and make this a close matchup is already a danger that Fnatic do not want to deal with coming into this season. But now they're neck and neck towards the end of the map, and the chance of them winning starting to look less like a dream and more like a potential reality.
10 seconds left.
Oh, for sure. I thought after losing the pistol, winning the second, and then losing the third, that maybe that would boom them at least a little bit, but no. Looking very comfortable, and 9-9. On that defensive side, which we normally talk about being the favored within this map. I am starting to worry a little bit for Fnatic, and it seems like they are as well. They're going to be calling a pause coming out of this one, giving an opportunity to Eng to try and talk this one.
Him under one, I think his ceiling is higher. And this is an opportunity for us to see that under one of the most storied IGLs in this game. And as long as he doesn't come in like Melkor singing Einor's tune, we should be in a position where they can harmonize and find a flow that maybe Fnatic haven't seen so far. As again, like, I don't doubt his ability as a mind for this game. But I want to see Cloud evolve. And this is the best chance we've had to see it.
Ara definitely not shying away from a fight. Again, they have this sort of contact with the flash. Flickless is literally just looking for a pixel, and well, he has seen the pixel. Unfortunately, Jesse was not able to find the trade. He's slowed them down, but he's got to be careful from the backline. Has support from Net, though. The Odin on the cross needs to do a whole lot more, and Althea has been able to shut him down. Cloud taking that space towards the site, and Ara is here already, with Westside finding one as well. He's hoping to get something with the blades.
A good chance. But a mistake needs to be made. Cloud, the one to offer himself up, but it won't be much found for GX. They'll stay on 9. Fnatic looking more focused coming out of the pause.
Yeah, I like the investment into that operator. Just play that little more contacty. You know that they've had these little trap setups with flashes, so if you can just hit that shot fast enough, everything else becomes irrelevant. And then having that passive position from Boaster to be able to catch them as they look to try and flee away from the scene. It's a nice little 1-2 punch that gives them their 10th round. But this is where it's not really going to do too much damage to the economy. Abai is coming back.
It's worth mentioning, he is one of my favorite players, so I feel comfortable to say this. Flickless is having a hell of a bad game. One of the worst we've seen from him. This is his 3rd time ever playing
Where's
the
his
Omen,
KO?
and I really think it's showing. I think this is what we talk about for GX, having that stand-in, having the overlapping roles. Somebody has to lose, and for now it looks like the loser is Flickless.
This is an interesting spot to see a defender in.
3rd time playing Omen, as I said.
I've seen maybe a Jet up there every once in a while. I don't know if I've seen an Omen up there before, but hey,
he's
an
enjoying
position. It's also, well, we used to have a nickname for that, but Moving on.
Good stun. It's the pressure put on. The Hunter's Fury is an immediate response. GX maybe overreacting a little bit there, but it was just an attempt to keep those players alive in the corner.
Look at Boaster.
Boaster. Primed to strike, 1 below, 1 above, but
okay.
Jesse, Spider senses tingling. He's managed to find himself a valuable pick. Boaster could have completely recovered the round there. Instead, Alpha's all alone. 5 to take on, 1 taken down for free, but now this should become impossible.
Camera taken out.
Everybody's getting revealed, but I feel like everybody kind of knows where each other are at this point, and with 12 seconds left, the defenders don't really need to push this, but I feel like it almost wants to be just a shutdown of Althea. I'll say the fact that in those early fights, they sent that many players mid, and they don't lose anybody until the last couple of fights of the round, I know it was a question on the desk about who's calling. I know that GX said that it was Net. If this is going to be Net's calling style throughout EMEA, I'm really excited. Because think about the eco round where he's super aggressive outside A. These are bold calls. These are risky calls.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it's quite nice to see someone who's a little bit ballsy with what they're doing on the defense.
Well, you have Fnatic coming in with 2 IGLs and the most boring comp we've seen. And then you have GX with stand-in and ideas. And it seems like one of those is stronger as a system than the other, at least for now. Again, Fnatic with these big changes, there is going to be an element of them finding their feet, finding their footing. But a big slip early on against a team that's in the very same position, a worse position, arguably. I don't even think that's arguable, definitively. Yeah, I think you have to give props to Net. As we said, taking the assumption that what GX tweeted out is gospel. Yeah. You never know, but
could have changed since then.
He'll definitely be someone that has a lot of interest. I think already, this has already been a fantastic battle for this squad. The second half started terribly. When you win the pistol, lose the follow-ups, usually that's where you see the team just teeter out completely. But they've recovered now again to double digits, and the pressure's on. Fnatic lose this round, which they should. It'll be the lead over to GX and a chance to win one buy round and at least guarantee an OT.
Pressure onto Ara. Kind of expecting to maybe get one and get out. The reveal is solid, and well, it acts as a distraction. Nice shot from Cloud once again. He does not want to taste defeat against his previous organization. Wow, Althea's backstab is something that they're very wary of. Just bear in mind, though, that Flickless is already pretty low. A single bullet could just take him down, and well, it may have taken a couple, but even still, they got rid of him. Crashies has done the same. This is not looking pretty, and with all that's left is Net. He needs to find 3 players with an Odin from a position where I don't think that's possible.
Well, there's a few spam angles open, but
Spangles?
saving, I'm not sure about that one. Saving is the way to go for Net. Althea's already made that realization, and he will get here in time to cut off the angle. Net has to fight. Never mind. Net does not have to fight to carry this weapon forward. They think he's already long gone.
Thrifty.
So he will be safely tucked away to close this round out. 11, though, for Fnatic. And, well, like I said, that was a round I very much expected GX to walk away with. Their opponents at next to nothing. And yet an emotive Thrifty is going to be found. And, look, great work by Cloud as well. That spam through was deadly, but I have to say, honestly amazed. Even from that point, I didn't expect Fnatic to have much to say about the round.
Yeah, well, we've seen a few the Motor Thrifties already. The low buys, the more direct plays seem to be working out for them, and with a couple of spots looking a little bit more one and done, I think that's been the bigger issue. Even still, though, the defense do have a bite. Operator still in hand, and no ultimates available. Well, other than the singular one for Flickless. The fact is, though, GX have been able to fight back in a lot of rounds, but it looks to be the same once again. Pressure put onto short. Flickless has done well, but Althea has just cleared out 2. And Aaron now needs a lot from this position.
Yeah, with an AWP as well. Finding one, getting back to cover won't be easy, and the numbers on their side thinning out. Support won't be there. And he misses the first. That should be it. He is dead to rights, leaving only West side. And what should have been a lead guaranteed for GX and a chance to at least lock in an overtime. And now it's the exact same for their opposition. The shoe on the other foot. Fnatic 12-10. Again, I don't even think West side's going to attempt this, especially picking up the Odin. It's time to just run and save.
No, it is worth keeping that extra weapon over into the next round, although it's not going to leave them with a particularly pretty purchase. But yeah, Fnatic have been able to stabilize a little bit towards the end of this map. But even still, GX will look to try and take us to an overtime, which again, given the circumstances, I think expectations would be that they should get blasted out of this server, and I'm pretty sure that was my expectations going into this game. But being close maybe a good sign going forward, but obviously the goal for everybody at this stage is to get those points onto the board, look to try and make your way through to that playoff stage. Because of course, this is probably the most important group stage because you've got points for champions, massively important, but also if you fit
it just looks weird. It's I'm used to seeing him opposite. Nice one, Captain Cal. Corruption of the Elves. He caught the Melkor earlier. Love to see it. 12 to 10.
Is that from Star Wars?
Having a good day, Tom. I'm having a good day, so I'm going to let that one slide. 2 rounds to fight for here. GX needing both of them to push us up to overtime. A defensive stand that, look, I like it towards the A side. Again, though, you're missing a lot of information to start this out, and a slow pace from Fnatic, watching for aggression. That's a normal way. When you run out of that early utility and you're sat back like this, positioned in these tiny corners, waiting to spring traps. Again, this Cypher setup across the map, you're looking to pounce on both of those. I like it, but it does mean that if Fnatic decide to group up and hit, it's a gamble whether you've got the players in the right places. But hey, this is the time for a gamble as well, and so far we've seen GX comfortable taking risks.
Back to the slower style of play for Fnatic. The aggressive pushes towards A have been working out. Now they look to head in towards B. West side force off the angle, but maybe they're just looking to try and bait the idea that they're not going in this direction. Short control still very much within their grounds.
30 seconds left.
But with 30 seconds left, this is always where I get a little bit worried with Fnatic on the server. Where are they going from here? And they've already just lost a player trying to head towards the B site.
Yeah, we talked about that. Cypher trip as
Spike
being
could
part
get
of the
caught.
trap. Jesse, that's huge. But 12 seconds left. They've still got the spike. The cross to the A side still on, and no one there to defend it anymore. They had fled the site to push on up. And so it's
Jesse
undeniable. It's free as the flank goes down. Jesse, though, as you said, ultimate primed and ready. A defender there in the form of Flickless, and they will wait as the rest of the squad groups up. It's going to take a while. West side and Net have to travel through some dangerous territory. But finally, they'll make it to the fields of battle, and Jesse triggers the ultimate. In he goes with the run it back. He'll find nothing to start, but West side takes advantage of the chaos. Strikes from behind, might do the same as Boasters, looking the other way. Crashies alone down below, but West side's there to join him. 11 for GX, and only one player lost as well. A solid round. Again, these ideas in the late round. This is a team that is not afraid to take risks, and I think maybe Fnatic aren't used to playing against a team like that.
Yeah, it's crazy. They literally pushed all the way around. They were half a second away from winning that round way earlier if they managed to get the kill onto Crashes with the spike.
Come on,
Instead, though, they then slow everything down. And that's the thing. Like, if they had gone, okay, they're trying to plant, let's throw the runner back in with Jesse, and he ran in and just tried to deny plant, I would not have been mad. But instead, they went, we're 4v3. We're going to wait. We're going to play it as a team. We're going to use our util together. That's great play.
That's excellent. Again, for this team, GX, I expect there to be so many gaps, but so far they've been filling them in with good gameplay. Stuns gone out, and it looks like they'll commit. Kayak already through to the site. Shut down by West side. Jesse, Ara, all showing up. And the Hunter's Fury, angry as he may be, it will do nothing to help close the gap. They need picks to go their way. A res attempt as they bring Cloud back, using him as bait, but the paranoia is perfect. Denies them any further ground. Good work by Alpha. A 2v3. Not one to turn your nose at just yet. This is still dangerous for GX.
Yeah, Alpha still being on the table can be enough. And a lot of rounds he's had his hero moments, the 3K walking in. Instead, they're going to put pressure onto Crashies. What will he expect? Two players to be sat around this angle. This is so nasty. I said, they're not just saying, look at him! He's lining up darts! Of course he didn't expect anybody to be there. And well, blink a couple of times. Maybe close your eyes for a second, breathe in if you're a Fnatic fan. Yes, GX with a stand-in have just taken your team to overtime. Yes, it is the first map of them being back on the table. And yes, they're causing heart attacks. On the positive side though, genuine props to GX. I think they were saying on the desk that it was it 5 pracs, or maybe it was 5 days of practice with Jesse, but they knew that he was going to be in, coming in with a new IGL, swapping things up massively in terms of like Flickless playing a different role. You've gone to OT versus Fnatic on map 1. That's really impressive.
This is a huge win already. And again, considering the fact that they took your former captain, you know, he knows how this team likes to prepare. He knows how they like to play. 3 of these boys are guys that he's got a lot of experience with. You've seen Starzo pop his little head in. And for Fnatic, the upper hands that they have in this matchup, you can't count them. It is so many. You think that they come in as clear favorites, and for GX to even have a heartbeat in this map is enough to say, hey, that's a success with the days of prep and all of the excuses that they have.
Well, the best example we can give is look back to the game yesterday where Liquid played against Eternal Fire, where they had their coach standing in.
Yeah.
And the Liquid got absolutely dumpstered. It was 13-6, 13-2.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, that's what I was expecting. And maybe that's me underselling like the difference between a coach and a stand-in, but that has some positives and negatives.
Yeah,
like the guy, your coach is going to know all your strategies, but hey, it makes me very excited for what GX will be able to do with their full roster, or maybe even just how long's Jesse staying for? Because he's been great.
Maybe he can stick around, man. I'm loving it. The identity of GX so far. Been very enjoyable to watch this squad play. As we said, the ideas and the risks taken. But it's not every round. They're not playing stupid and it's working. They're choosing and picking their moments perfectly. Now they've earned themselves an overtime and a chance to push Fnatic to map 2. Map down. For the defense, well, they're no longer sitting back the way they did before. Instead, the trap set on short and in mid. It looks like they're ready to pounce on the back of any aggression towards A main, fight back that other leg of the push. And for GX, they're stepping right into that trap. This is where Kayak should step up in a big way.
They're ready. Oh, but the bait may be going the other way. Leaves him isolated. Net's able to trade. Cloud under some serious pressure, but Crashies has made sure that he's not going to get pincered for the remaining 2. It's a very tough task walking out of that smoke. Just bear in mind how low Cloud is. That's the one real danger at this moment. Trying to find something with his family. He's down to 1 health. Jesse's managed to find Crashies as well. It starts to get a little dangerous for Althea. Althea's position should make this round impossible for the attackers. Boast is still on the site. There is Althea with the strike. And unless Flickless has a crazy clutch in him, that will be the lead brought back by Fnatic.
Yeah, it's already a bridge too far for GX to have made it to overtime, but the road to recovery now has just 1 more step. Fnatic winning this round. People won't forget what happened here today. Cloud will certainly remember his first map in the partnership era where he is not playing under the GX banner. This one might stick with him. His nails might shorten a bit after, but a win is a win. And 1 round away from having that under their belt are Fnatic.
Cage trigger.
Well, if I've learned anything from this game so far is that just because GX are down, definitely does not mean they are out. Already a lot of steps being made towards this B side of the map. The more direct takes or what seemed to work for Fnatic. Arrow, though, perfectly placed. And that's your smoke's gone. They now have to go off this. You can't be selling any ruses. I think the drone got hit by the dart. So the dart was floating around, which definitely didn't help them out too much. But now things grind to a halt.
This is awful for Fnatic. With no smokes, no fast lane, you stop outside of main. You're just waiting for the death sentence to be carried out. GX just sit on their angles, knowing when you push, you step into their sightlines. And Ara is gifted a 4K there. His first solid to cut off the smokes. But honestly, I expect so much more from Fnatic in a moment where they see that blip. You even said it, Tom. They have to go. They've lost their smokes. It's time to go. And instead, they sat there and waited for something to go their way.
You even.
What's your peak RR last 6 seasons, Tom?
You know, at least 55.
We won't say in what rank, but 55. Yeah, we made it there. We outside. Oh.
13 to 13. They're still going. GX, a very clean defensive side round at Ara's operator. It's a big part of it. The Odin, now on both sides. Lamar Poster, they're going to know exactly where he is. In fact, they are diving straight into his face. Cloud at least able to trade onto Ara. That's a big piece of the puzzle down for GX. But again, the smoker of Fnatic is gone in the early stages of the round.
I think that's a trade. GX looked dead in the face and said, sure, we'll take that. You lose your smokes, and we still have Jesse to get us into his sight. He's still got his flash, and if he's the one to find the trade, or even the orb afterwards, but certainly the trade and the orb, then we are very close to having a very high impact ultimate. So I think that's well worth it for GX, not just to get control and the orb, but to remove Boaster, remove that paranoia, force its use early. Most importantly, remove those smokes. Now, slowing down this attack side will be much more difficult. In fact, I'm not sure if they've taken the orb already, but they're bypassing it. Jesse's still 2 away as they push towards the site. Spam is great from Alphayer. Dealt death to 2, and now GX miles behind, needing a hero play, but the villain of their round is still alive and kicking. Fnatic up to 14, another chance to forget this mess.
Yeah. Althea is still going strong. Althea's B site has been strong throughout the majority of this game so far. In fact, I still remember one of the early rounds where it was him alone on B, everyone else on A, and they lost the A site. He's been having a decent game. And to be fair, there's
to choose in this from what we've seen, but Flickless has always been a highlight for me on the KO, so it certainly makes my heart heavy.
Yeah, it might just be the position that Net prefers to call from. Yeah. Or maybe it's even just this map. You never know. They might swap things up as they go.
Very common for IGLs to want to be initiators as well, especially in the newer team.
Ooh. Early damage, early fight. All in on the B site for Fnatic. As said, the more direct plays is what worked for them. An easy kill, though. The reveal from the trip is perfect. Boaster's done well. Crash is the same. The push through, the paranoia in towards the smoke. But 2 players are there. Flickless just spamming. The trade still gives an opportunity. West side normally so good with a singular bullet, but this time he misses and has to be careful. Just about sticks to life. He should be dead and eventually will be. It's left all on to the stand-in. Jesse has made his mark already throughout this map as a man who's not on either of these rosters, but he has a chance to keep this overtime going. The Molotov should make it very awkward for Boaster. In fact, he's burning all the way down, almost cleared with that alone. But he doesn't know where Crashies is. Not yet, at least. Looking to try and find that final man, maybe break through in this moment, but timing will be everything, and eventually Fnatic will get the job done. It is not a comfortable start to the Eng Dynasty. I'm excited to see what they'll do. I'm still curious if they can have the same sort of setup power with Flickless now over onto the Breach, but I think like role-wise, okay, maybe not so much the net on Sova, but I guess they're filling in where Cloud left off. Aggressive, though, from Fnatic. And already forcing back one. An awkward fight for Jesse, who's gone TPing. Getting back on the Phoenix. You can't TP on a Phoenix.
Exactly. Back to comfort. A shanky start for GX, losing 1. But Fnatic want to keep aggressing. This could be a mistake. Net is waiting, but never mind. It is success across the board for FNC. 2 men left on the other side, down to 1, and Alpha looks to close it out himself. It won't quite be the flawless round, much to the disappointment of InZone, but I don't think Fnatic fans are going to be upset. Westside needs a 1v4. He has got his signature weapon, the Sheriff, to do it, but this would be a hell of a clutch. A clip to be remembered.
Yeah, likelihood seems pretty slim. Fnatic just looking to play this one nice and safe, not over-risking too much. Does have an opportunity. Okay, that's a nice shot. And may be able to hightail his way towards that B site, which has an opening for the plant. Trying not to give too much away with the steps, but when you have deep control of Crashies, the slower he goes, the more of a problem this becomes. The later on the clock, the more difficult it is. And he's already been spotted by Cloud, but Cloud, I think, realizes that unless he takes him down immediately, that's a little bit dangerous. Sticking this, I don't think he'll have enough time anymore. And it would just have to be the kills. And yeah, he doesn't actually have any bullets left, so even reloading would be a death sentence. A little bit of additional damage, a couple of orbs towards that wonderful neural theft. But other than that, it's a relatively comfortable pistol for Fnatic.
It's just an opportunity for Westside to remind us how his Sheriff works. And why we want to see him on the Sentinel.
And how his headshot percentage works.
Well, exactly. It is above average, to say the least. I remember a point where I think he was like 20% above the rest of the league towards the end of, I think it was last stage, maybe it was kickoff. And that is not a rare thing for him either. 1-0 start for FNC, and it's a full eco on the other side, barring Westside's investment. Not into a Sheriff. Keeping a couple more credits as he goes for the Bandit. Chances of getting anything done with it down to 0, thanks to Cloud.
Wow, an opportunity to basically just farm up some orbs. Not really much of an expectation in this round other than maybe getting a kill or two with that Bandit.
Well, Cloud has used his sneaky wall to get into position for not one, but 2 more kills closing out this round. At least going to be a couple of orbs towards the res for Fnatic. Decent kill distribution when it comes to the anti-eco, but that is a boring round, if ever we've seen one, for GX. A low buy. Now turns into a full. I do wonder if Cloud meant to put that wall down. I assume he did. With a gap in the right side, funneling them down towards just one angle as they make it out, slowing the reinforcements, but also giving him an angle to push up on, and I don't think they were aware that that wall wasn't fully covering it. 2-0. Decent buy for Fnatic. They can afford to take a lot of risky fights, but at least the first one is dealt with.
Yeah, this is a round where you really want to see GX get going. They managed it on the last map and had a pretty decent comeback into the game. Obviously, I think if they were able to convert that sort of second round victory they had and not lose some of the thrifties we saw, the last map easily could have been theirs, which wasn't something I expected coming into today. Starting out on this attack side and having more of a setup heavy look to them. Like the last, they were able to do these more contact burst plays with the flashes of Phoenix. Now you kind of need to have Flickless ready and raring to go to kind of set you up behind. For now though, it's more of a slow pace and they haven't really spotted out too many of those defenders who are just sitting passive.
Cloud especially gets that backstab that only finds one. Thought a little more could come out of that. Crashies on the spam at least brings us back to even footing. And for Fnatic, that is a big win to put us back to neck and neck in terms of manpower. Jesse gonna break the utility that was sent his way, and the signs for Fnatic pointing towards Westside being in main as he closes the distance, trying to get the jump. Crashies somehow gets the jump on him. A third round under the belt of the defensive side, and excellently done. And in fact, for all intents and purposes, the retake looking kind of easy.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was just a couple of off angles being caught by Crashies as he looks to swing back in. I think this one just catching out Flickless, the trade looking good, and then it was just almost the bait that was created by Kayak.
Boys. Nice, man.
Stellar stuff to win the bonus, and
right here.
maybe a little bit more of what we expected to see coming into today. It's only going to be pistols once again for GX. Of course, I feel like the harshness of this is not only do you have a stand-in, but you have a change in players. How much time have you spent prepping Sunset since that?
Yeah, as much as I want to believe in GX, We're on the map pick of Fnatic. We're somewhere that probably a lot of people didn't expect them to pick this today. I'd be surprised if GX did, unless they've got some inside info into what's being scrimmed on the other side.
Naughty, naughty.
And then you come into this position where Fnatic get a wake-up call in the previous map. They're not going to come in here underestimating you after nearly losing Ascent a number of times.
I also just like this composition, though, for them. It allows Alfia to be that same sort of aggressive player he likes to be, but having a get-out-of-jail-free card. And then you have Cloud basically being the sort of smart player, just slowing them down with the Sage. It creates such an awkward setup that the opponents have to break into. And as said, when you have that sort of setup-heavy playstyle, like, okay, we want to execute. You can't execute, because look at where Alfia is. This versus an eco. He's pushing all the way down that A laneway, and then the other one is completely blocked off.
30 seconds left.
Makes it very hard to play against.
And this kind of goes back to the conversation. I'm going to disrespect Ara and assume he's getting nothing here. Goes back to the conversation we had at the start of this game about Fnatic playing a boring comp when it came to Ascent. It means you can't surprise them in quite the same way. Now I'm going to give them some respect.
12
the flank
seconds.
from Westside looks fantastic, but oh, Westside! 8 seconds, no time. There is no way for him to win this round, as tragic as that is. You could see the opportunities that Ara have just waited that little bit longer. Instead, 4-0 we go.
Gotta go.
I've just read the sort of the in-game toast about headshot percentage.
Spike down A.
Actually, that was what I was thinking of with Stage 2. The people at home will see it now. Stage 2 last year was the 52% where he was above by quite a margin by the time we closed it out.
Most people who have that good headshot percentage are bad.
Yes.
Like, that's normally what it is.
Don't kill
you
people.
don't kill people, and then when you accidentally hit someone in the head, you get really good headshot percentage. Like, sometimes when you see a coach stand in, they'll have really good headshot percentage. And that's the only people that's close, and well, that's not the start you're looking for. I said about Flickless being the setup guy. He's dead first. He's now got his ult. The ults are building up on the other side. And yeah, that's about... It's probably the last person other than maybe Jesse that you want falling that quick.
Well, you know, we've heard a lot of criticism from Mini about Breach in general. I don't know if... Because he seemed excited today. He was turning over a new leaf. I don't know if he's going to have a lot of positives about how Flickless approached this round, but...
Oh, no, he's just going to talk about Alfia with the operator. That's going to be his whole death segment, I reckon. Alpha kind of good. About 40 seconds left. There's some interesting positioning at least. Westside with an opportunity. If he can drop a player, he leaves an opening. The problem is you can hear the steps being run through. It's the timing that's everything. And actually, Cloud is so ready for a player to be there. Probably because of the pistol push in the prior round. It did some damage versus a round that wasn't winnable, but it also puts that doubt in the back of your mind. You go, okay, we now need to be checking that spot every single round.
Yeah, what we were saying about the whole, like, surprising them on Ascent and how it wasn't really possible. I think this is where GX get a much different test. Starting on the attack side should be the easier of those two. I think the next half is going to be more difficult for this squad, considering how they played on Ascent. But again, you're up against cookie cutter comp on a map that is very difficult to reinvent the wheel. Now you come into a map that has a lot more open space to explore, a lot more options for an attacking side, and a composition from Fnatic that's going to allow them to make a lot of mistakes, make a lot of risky plays, and even if that doesn't go their way, they can recover. Whether it's the TP from Alpha, quick movement from Kayak, or a res from Cloud, they have so many options. So for GX, I need them to step up now, or else this game, to me, just runs away.
It's also just because of the constant rotation of where Alfia is going to be, where Kayak's going to be, and where Cloud is going to be. You can understand why Flickless wasn't ready for someone to peek there, because the last 2 or 3 rounds, it was a Sage War and slows. So you go, okay, there's just Sage War and slows. Let's walk up, take the space, take the orb, and go back. And instead, you're shot with an operator.
Yeah, adapting to those, like, 2021 comps, but with a Neon's much easier for GX.
Good start.
Now, they're starting to have something go their way. 2 kills already under their belt. No res anymore with Cloud down and out. And a big performance needed by Boaster to make this doable. It's Alpha alone, operator in hand, and 3 players to take down a chance if he was to catch net on the cross. But as we can see, he's missed the boat.
Yeah, he'll have ult next round, so the operator doesn't really matter that much. Also has credits to play with, so he's going to try and make this one costly. The ult from net should make this one impossible, especially versus a singular player. And instead, Alfia is just looking to try and run at them. Try and bait them into a fight, maybe even just bait out the ultimate if needed. Instead, it's this post-plant utility spam out from Flickless. And you can see Ara has no intention of peeking. They are just buying that additional time. Nice post-plant from GX. A first round onto the board. I think it needs to be a whole lot more if you're going to convince us that there's that same flair from the last map.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like, this is a very fast push towards market where they find 3 kills off the back of it, including Cloud crossing over on mid. It's about as good of a start as you can get, but that's direct aggression working out. I'm not certain that's going to be repeatable every time. And Fnatic now come in with another surprise round of their own. Slow orbs, paranoia, and a kayak sent straight through. This could be a dangerous one. TP and a wall, it's beautiful. What an idea, but Boaster's being caught. The cover not good enough from down below. And look, take a leaf out of GX's book in the last game. Play a little bit aggressive early on. Have some different ideas, but this one has not worked out.
Yeah, there are some things that you will see Jing do that don't always work for everybody else, and that might be one of them. Because it was a nice attempt, but they seemed more ready for it. I'm not going to lie, that's one of the clips I've seen replayed more times than anything else. So I think the second you see players pushing that aggressively, you do start to worry a bit. The aggression, punished. Now, Cloud still has his ult. The problem is when you do something this aggressive, the players are very difficult to res.
Well, the thing is, this was a direct counter to GX taking that fast mid-to-market approach. The assumption from Fnatic that they're going to see that again. So you get up on that wall, and you catch them as they run into middle. It's a great idea. GX turned around. The second that there was noise in main, they said, okay, let's fight this together. And because of that, they've found themselves in an unlosable position, is what I would have said if I was stupid. Now, they're in a 3 versus 2 on Fnatic with a chance to run into main and pop a res, bringing them to double the manpower of their opponents. And that's exactly how this should have went. Nobody ever doubted it for a second.
Kill my ally. 10 seconds
Res
left.
through. We've always talked about Alfia as a fantastic player, but an operator was not something I ever really felt like he needed to add to his repertoire, but it's looking damn good now that he has. Maybe something a bit more consistently seen, but for now at least, Flickless in a decent position. Now Nightfall's not going to catch. In fact, onto anyone. They don't have additional information, but Alfia doesn't seem to have any problems. Is left onto West side. They know exactly where he is from this point onwards, and from what was a very quick double opener for the side of GX, ends with Fnatic having 4 players alive.
Yeah, it's timeout time. It is time for a timeout. Someone hit the timeout button on GX.
Don't worry, I'm sure Pipson has been boxing it.
Even just to have like a group cuddle. This was an attempt from Fnatic to catch them off guard that resulted in them losing 2 players off rip. The res being unusable. And Alpha just grabbed 2 for free as they ran out. Cloud with another. They take main. I mean, GX have got to be devastated. I want a timeout here for no other reason than a group cuddle. But it looks like they're feeling emotionally strong. A lot stronger than I am, that's for sure.
What you do in your spare time, what you think about in your imagination, that's down to you.
I do it at work. Stars are waiting for me.
You leave those guys alone. And well, great reveal. Push in, Crashy's just shutting them down on entry into the A side. They try and switch up where they're going, and instead, they've just met Crashy's. They should. Nope, he's gonna survive. Oh, okay. Jesse managed to walk up mid, and Flickless has just wiped out Alfia. These rounds have stopped making sense. The last one should have gone the way of Fnatic, and this one, oh sorry, it should have gone the way of GX, and this one should have gone the way of Fnatic. I guess balance has been restored. You happy now? No more cuddles needed?
No, I'm not sure I'm happy, but look, it's worked out, hasn't it?
Yeah, you know.
What am I witnessing is a question I'm forced to ask myself consistently throughout this round. the fact that we have a flank come up from Jesse here, he is able to backstab the entirety of
Good
the
job,
squad.
Jesse. Come on, bro. Let's go. What are we doing? Guys, what are we doing? I don't know.
That's a great question to ask, Ara. I would ask the same question. Just one round ago, I would have asked you the same question. But now valid to ask that of Fnatic. 6-2 in the most unusual manner we've ended up here. But for Fnatic, they still are able to get a full buy up here. Still able to get that operator into the hands of Alfier as well. So there is no relaxation allowed on the side of GX. A mid-split, the A site late being hit seems to be the idea. But look how passive Fnatic are. They're waiting on the cross with Cloud. And then they had, and now will have again. Crashy's holding that top mid position. Kayak was ready to strike with him. But they've given up on that heavier stack towards top mid just as GX walk towards this position.
Oh, timing's not great. The Prowler did give the information Crashy's wanted, but a little bit closer than he might have expected. Ara waiting and just falling back off this. You do see that aggressive push into mid, and now you can see that Fnatic have had to put Boaster almost all the way back into towards the spawn, watching, see if anybody is going to move that way. The smoke timing, though, is ideal, and so is the slow. 25 seconds left. They need to move into this site, and the slows are just holding them back. They've allowed Alpha into this corner where he's going to be incredibly dangerous.
He doesn't even have to strike until two bodies are on the floor. The round wrapped up in a neat bow. Cloud's third secured. And Net with 6 seconds and no spike. It's fair to say the odds are against him. A round for Fnatic yet again. And GX, as much as they've had two solid ones on the board, they are running out of time, running out of runway. Again, if this is all that they can get out of this half, it will be a quick close to this map. I really do think that their biggest challenge is yet to come.
Yeah, they've struggled versus, again, these slows from Sage. It's why the agent has become so popular. It just feels like more of a wall than the wall. Like, you can't just go running out into that crossfire.
GX to come into that and perform the way that they did. And it wasn't just winning rounds, it was catching Fnatic off guard. Like, they had ideas that their opponents were not ready for, which, given the scenario, is almost unheard of.
Cage triggered.
They can hold their head high after that first map, but where has that flare gone now that they're outside of the map that they chose? In an unfamiliar battleground, and Fnatic seemingly strengthening their position as the rounds go on. West side, they know that he's making his way up. They're waiting for him, but they've TP'd! Boaster's lost his mind! Lost his life as well, but not lost all hope as Ara's left down to a sliver of health. Now a 1v1 with a res online for Cloud, though. That changes.
Yeah, back like he never left. Alfia with a second lease of life, and that's not what you want to see. Ara definitely has got himself in a bit of an unorthodox position, but I like this from Cloud. He knows what his teammate, his ex-teammate, is about to do. And, you know, the man is currently 13-4. A fantastic round individually, and honestly, a fantastic map that we're seeing from Cloud. Because we talked about the things that are exciting, like Alfia being able to be aggressive. Kayak the same, who's been relatively quiet so far. But the standout, no doubt, has been Cloud.
Yeah, definitely, and I don't think anybody's going to be...
Let's go, baby!
I don't think anyone's going to be massively surprised to see him deliver. Again, we've talked for a while about the IGL role and what it takes away from you as an individual. We've seen it with Cloud, and maybe there were some people out there thinking, well, Cloud's just not the player he once was. Well, yes, he is. There you go. You can see it. Whether it's secondary calling or just whether he's along for the ride. Definitely taking full advantage of this newfound position.
He's enjoying the Sage as well, be it boost spots or the slows. It's been causing issues for GX, and maybe in their next game, he'll IGL and Boaster will get to show his fragging capabilities.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'd say so. So they're going to lose their next game.
Wow.
That goes ahead.
Wow.
I just respect Boasters and IGL that much.
Okay.
That's the gap. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, the pressure
Saved
onto
it.
Alfia. Net's done well. looking to try and turn back the tide, but that seems ever more unlikely up until Ara strikes. Gives them an advantage, and even looks to clean up Boaster as well from the depths of defeat. They managed to strike. And Althea, yeah, he just got to try and leave. Maybe kill someone off as he goes, and even just a stun to leave him in. I like it, you know, just an additional assist coming through for Flickless.
Yeah, I don't think he cares all that much about stats, or at least I hope he doesn't today.
ACS, get your ACS up, King.
That's what it's all about. Combat score.
Hey, his cast is going through the roof right now. Oh wait, he would have survived anyway. So
yeah, still got that percentage up there, and that very relevant and useful statistic.
It is.
Whoever came up with
his
cast,
KDA just increased.
Whoever decided cast was a statistic we cared about, I hope you never identify yourself to me. 8-3, 1 round left to play with. For GX, there is still hope if they can end this 8-4. I do think the next half will have a lot of challenges, and I'm not sure that they're ready for what might come their way. Fnatic seem to have hit another level when it comes to some Sunset. The gap has widened in their favor. This last round, to lay the foundation for the recovery, Alfier is already a spanner in the works. The flank wide open for GX, and they have to pace themselves. Well, I would have imagined they'd accelerate into A, but it looks like this late mid hit's still on the cards. Not much time to go back. Oh.
Trades back once again. Flickless onto the board. Definitely having a rough game individually, and it's not getting any better. Crashies hits the timing perfectly. Net is just about going to escape the ult. Oh, no. Never mind.
Just when he thought he was out.
Just when he thought he was safe.
Revealing area.
Well. The spike is somewhat surrounded. He's got 30 seconds to play with, and Crashies is on a tear. A 9-3 half. That was quite clean.
Yes, this is a very different vibe for Fnatic. After what we saw in that first map, we thought GX might have had a chance, but now it's looking like they need to step it up. Find another gear. That's the challenge for the second half. Pipson going to be the one to chat with the boys. Let's toss over to an interview we had with Pipson earlier on. It's like an opportunity for them to step into this map with one under their belt, but now it's looking like they might fade to black quite quickly.
Yeah, this is kind of the expectation that was here coming into the day, that they're up against Fnatic that should be revitalized, and they're playing with a stand-in. Like, we didn't have high expectations. The first map maybe gave us a little bit of false hope, but now it looks like we're exactly where we should have been all along. Althea starting things off, a great half from him. Kayak actually, well, it was a 9-3 half. Obviously, they're going to be happy. He didn't really have to do much. Shut down quite a lot throughout this map, but I don't think anybody's going to mind too much. Nice shot from Net. He's got the brain and the aim, it seems. But do they have a little bit more?
Again, not afraid to take risks. This time, though, going into heavy traffic. That's a big delivery from Westside. I think that was a collateral headshot connected, and although Cloud gets himself back up to 100, he was one bullet away from fading.
Even though a collateral headshot's not going to help his headshot percentage because he got the kill.
Oh,
the wall bang.
No.
Exactly. His
Two
headshot percentage
headshots,
has
one
gone
body
down.
shot. He's been screwed.
Wait until we tell him about his cast. Do you know Mike Tyson actually loves cast? No, wait, that's cats. 3 versus 3. A position that might not be clear from Cloud. Like, it's quite a common spot. Not quite given away by the ponytail. But do they check it? He didn't panic. He just sat there and waited, and then you got Kayak for contact. This should be an easy cleanup in the end. Only going to be Westside remaining. There's the headshot we know and love. He's leveled out from the last one, but he is out of time. No hope of getting this one over the line, and his ex-IGL playing him like a fiddle. 16-5 for Cloud, 10-3 for Fnatic. The 2-0 looking very likely indeed.
Yeah, at this point, for GX. You know, it's funny thinking back to that interview from halftime. Pipson said, well, we didn't manage to keep playing with Cloud. You could tell they very much still wanted to keep him around. They didn't lose faith.
Oh yeah, but he's good.
Well, you know.
I did think he was going to say a different word for a second, so he said, yeah, boy, right? That's what he said. He said, yeah, boy. That's what he said.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He's actually going to go for the longest yeah, boy. If they win this map.
I can't wait for the post-match interview. This is going to slap. Frankie, if you're listening, please just walk up to him. I heard you're going to hit the longest yeah, boy in history. See how he reacts. Cold call him with it. He might do it.
Very fast move from the defense. Again, making this round look competitive. An orb even for Flickless. Although with how the rounds have been going, I don't know if that orb is going to be too relevant. Rifle picked up for Kayak and even going to plant towards the back of the site.
Spike planted.
Net is about to walk into a multitude of players. Now, he does have a bandit. We like the bandit. We're a big fan of the bandit, but as we said, Kayak have been quiet. And the primary word of that sentence is had.
11-3. What could have been a labored victory now just becomes a formality for Fnatic. A comeback like this, an 11-3 comeback. They can't imagine seeing anything like that, that's for sure.
Quick, get Mini in the coaching booth.
Get him in there.
Guys, just do it.
That's a duo I'd love to see, Mini and Pipson. I'd like to see an argument break out.
Yeah. I know who's winning.
I know, but I just want to watch the theatrics. I'm not here for the outcome. Miley Cyrus once told me, it's about the climb. Not about how fast you get there or what's waiting on the other side. I'll tell you that.
Pipson isn't that much taller.
Be surprised. It's all perspective. Fnatic trading out early. Kayak's been dead and buried on that initial push towards top mid. It is now just A main left to deal with. Jesse does well with Alfier down. But they seem undeterred. I mean, it's strange. He's so far ahead while they send Boaster out in the other direction, while they now look to pressure towards A main. The stun from Arrow won't quite catch both, and they've made it around the corner. Baiting out the rotations, sending Boaster now to take space on this side of the map so that they could plant is what I thought. But, well, they've went back to fighting in with the spike, and that's given Net a field day. A flurry of frags, and Boaster a chance to get himself into the highlight reels.
1v4. The first, definitely going to be the easier of the lot. He's got to be careful. There's still a trip there, but he goes over it. And there's Arrow. 11-4. Bonus round, at least not going to be converted, but the start of an incredibly long journey back through on this defensive side. And of course, the next purchase coming up for Fnatic will be a 4-buy. And it seems like Boaster may even have dropped an operator over to Alfier to allow that to be in for the first purchase.
I'm shitting on these kids, bro.
Well, let's run over to the stats here and take a look.
He's 11-11.
Not bad.
So at least one per round.
Yeah, that's good. Not sure if it's defecation level, but it's certainly a good output. More so the score line I'm drawn to. GX.
You gotta believe. You gotta fake it till you make it. That's what they say. Ooh, be the man you want to be. And then maybe one day you could do what he said. I don't know. It doesn't quite with the phrasing he used. It's not quite as nice and positive as I would have wanted it to be.
Yeah, a bit of a detractor to the positivity. Well, GX are looking to crunch in mid, and that has worked out. I mean, it could not have worked out better timing-wise. Arrow walked out the second. Alfier looked away, found one for free, and it looks like they're priming up an A-fake. It worked decently well last time. 3 players towards this side. You're going to have Prowlers as well as Neon making noise there, and then the immediate shift back. The trip blocking them off, and Fnatic just leave a couple seconds for those rotates, and then step in for the plant. That was very close to being a pickup as well for Boaster. And what it is for sure is a lot of space, a lot of control, but a man advantage extended in favor of GX.
TP potentially being primed back for main, but instead they look to stand and fight this one together. 3 players all around the same angle, and the damage that's been done isn't quite sufficient just yet. Kayak, though, starting to build into this. Cloud has yet to be cleared. Hiding in the corner, but they're slowly being removed from this site. GX comfortable as they find a 5th round. And again, we talked about this on the first half of the last map. Some of those defensive setups where they like to get aggressive and push together. The timing of their mid push was very, very nice, but then also just leaving Ara behind. That's what I liked about it.
It's the initiative from GX in this game that has definitely stood out to me. For this squad, I expect
What
there
the
to be
timing
so
I got
many.
on this Alpha Zero. He took out the scope exactly when I pick him.
I mean, that's exactly what we're saying, Ara. Very true.
What a timing, I agree.
What a timing indeed. And for Fnatic, look, all it is a bump in the road. A couple of rounds here or there with an 11-5 lead. You have to think eventually they'll find their way back to winning ways, and this probably won't be it. They've got pistols, a bandit, 2 sheriffs, and 2 classics to work with.
Go on. Amoda licking their lips right now.
Oh, yes. It definitely has potential, and it looks like a lot of this attack side for Fnatic so far has been around selling false information, and from what we've seen, GX are buying it in droves.
Enemy mark.
Oh. Drone will be denied space. It at least means that Alfia's got a little bit further than expected, but the hot flash forced him to tuck in and allows one to cross, but there goes Flickless. Oh! This is why you want him on this agent. Yeah, the free operator's cool, but the instant one-shot headshot machine is in the hands of Alfia.
Still 2 to deal with there. Jesse and Ara have rotated in. Jesse will be pushed back, but guess who won't? Ara on the site. Ult popped. He will stand his ground, giving nothing up for free. As Fnatic pump the brakes and move to the other side of the map. The TP taken by Boaster. He's made it here. He's got the plant, and he's gotten out. Solid start, but the numbers, even with weapons in the hands of GX, the retake, well, they will bide their time. They will wait to strike. This west side on the site, waiting for reinforcements, but 1 battalion is already down. Now they move for the defuse. Boaster, the one that has to stop them, but he's being held. Jesse on it, ready with the swing. The spam is good, and he's already got himself 3. Cloud has no chance of denying this. Damage done, but the round stabilized by GX just in time.
Yeah, just about as well. Incredible work from Jesse to just hold the line. I think you could even see it. I think it was Westside diffusing, right? He just goes, oh, I'm sticking this all the way. You got this, bro. It is terrifying just seeing the Headhunter in the hands of Alfia. Ara also did well to sort of stop them from just taking over the other side of the map. Even still, a little bit shaky for the defense, but credits-wise, still a purchase into this round. 3 in a row.
Let's play.
But with ults in hand, the tour de force being one of them, this isn't nothing but an easy round for the opponents.
Nice shot from Ara. He'll hold his ground again. Not a man who likes to retreat as the smoke goes up. He just goes deeper into the angle. Keeping that control is so important for GX. It means no second man is needed to cover off a short. Ara's got it on lockdown. And so they stay heavy towards mid. Right where Boaster was looking to put the pressure. Was peeking around this spot moments ago, and indeed he will step into the meat grinder head first. Flickless and Jesse standing by. Jesse's alone as the smoke blocks Flickless. And he doesn't swing in. No trade. Ara now under pressure. Ara deleted, and all of a sudden Fnatic are in the lead.
Flickless is still here, though. He's going to get the reveal, but it doesn't matter. He just isn't hitting today. In 1v1 fights, he's just not been able to take any of them over the line. And while he mentioned it, that first half coming out from Kayak was a rough one. I think only 3 kills. This second half He's been looking more on point, but a swing out, maybe a little bit of a gamble. Gives Westside an opportunity. For the other two are sat waiting, never mind, they swing individually. They leave it down just to Cloud, but Cloud was enough. He has been enough throughout this game, but that was definitely far closer than it ever should have been.
He's gone from wearing the GX banner to burning it. Cloud's having a field day, 20-8 at the moment. But this round wasn't just him. Huge work done by Crashies and Kayak to pull them back into this fight, to give them a chance. And it's Cloud to bring it home against his former squad and his former squad mate. 1 round out of 6, that's all that's needed. Fnatic, immediate paranoia has blinded 3. No info, making it into the hands of Jesse until Kayak's right in his face. Rolling Thunder, sent through, but nobody can pounce off the back of it. They needed Jesse to still be alive for that to have any impact. And with him falling so quickly, that's an ultimate thrown into the wind.
Not the start they were looking for. Pipson about to start singing I Want You Back for Good.
Screaming.
He has that one in his locker, trust me. Along with, you know, some of the anime songs that they do for their content. By the way, GX, I love those. I love those. Please keep them coming, especially with Pipson in them. Either way, Fnatic, 4 kills away from this series being done. A double up of players being spotted might be enough to deter, but that pushes them into the hands of Westside, who has definitely been the standout so far in this defensive side. They can section off some of the angles, but he's going forward. He's pushing it towards them. He looks to take over. And 3 already. I think he killed 1 behind the player he was looking at. Kayak, though, wants to try and take the mantle of best player of the round, but he's so desperately low. 28 HP. Aftershock forces him into an awkward position, and well played again. I was going to say from GX, but let's be honest, it was Westside.
And this is what I'm talking about when I say I love this guy on a Sentinel. Westside is the kind of player that, yes, he can perform on the Duelist, he can perform in any role, but if I was to choose someone to solo hold a site, if I was to choose someone to have 4 players, 5 players run at him full exec and be in the middle of it, it probably would be Alfier. But if I couldn't get Alfier because of budget issues, I'd go straight to Westside. This guy is sensational. And having him fully focused, I think is only going to see that skill ceiling increase in height. Now for Fnatic, 5 rounds. They send a straight blitz towards the top of mid. Kayak on top of the walls being spotted now. Oh, the paranoia doesn't get them anything. Instead, they're put to bed immediately. A couple of kills for Alpha, but he's going to need a lot more. Thankfully, that TP wasn't stuck, or there would have been 1 more to the tally.
Well, one guy that did have a gun in this round is Alfia.
Catch them.
Always a highlight, but not in this round. Ara shuts him out, and whoa, an overdrive versus a player that's low HP. It couldn't be any easier. I didn't expect to see 8 rounds for GX onto the board, but they have been climbing back in this defensive side. Definitely struggled a lot in that first half. But the further they go, the more worried I get. And I'll be honest, Mitch, we just came back from London. I'm not ready for some more crumble.
God's sake. You know, one thing I'm really enjoying about GX is Ara. This is a player that we've had to have the caveat in almost every match for the last 1.5 years that, like, oh yeah, he's good, but today he might be ass. Like, he goes up and down, game to game, map to map. Sometimes he's a key part of any roster, and other times he's cannon fodder. And I feel like now we're in this era where he's consistent. He has definitely pulled that floor up behind him. 4 more rounds in a row. That was a 4K from Ara to give them a chance to keep them alive. Much more required. Rifles back up for Fnatic, and ultimates to fall back on are certainly shy on the side of GX.
Well, yeah, we were making jokes about an 11-3 comeback. At least, unless many rules were broken. I don't think Mini went into the coaching booth. Although I haven't seen him, so
we can't discount it.
I cannot. That is just rumors. But yeah, they're now 4 rounds away. The problem is, you always know that with the caliber of players on the Fnatic side, somebody could just close this out. The problem, though, is if you're a Fnatic fan, they never make it that easy. 2 entry kills, though, is one hell of a start. And already putting the pressure on to Flickless, who, as we've highlighted maybe a few too many times, has been having a stinker.
Yeah, he really has. Always a consistent player. One man that has,
30 seconds
if anything, picked up his performance in moments where it's needed is Westside. 5 on the other side. This has to be big for the Sentinel. And it's shaky to start. But Westside, give him enough chances and he will connect. Rounds for the side of GX. That's what they're after. And this man could be the one to deliver them. For now, he has delivered them a chance, a promise yet to be realized. But the 4-piece surely will be enough. Westside, again, the hero that GX desperately needed.
My God. I said it when they were in the 5v3. I was like, Fnatic never make it easy for themselves, but how did he not die? Like, he whiffed a load of bullets, then was super clean, but just the trades never came in. Like, that wasn't the cleanest 4K Westside has ever got.
No.
Someone should have traded him throughout that round, but you keep giving him chances. Eventually, he will hit the shots.
Who ain't gonna bring extra problems to your roster. He's just that guy. He's willing to flex. He's willing to play whatever the team needs. But if you put him here,
I pro played Waylay for a bit.
yeah, he'll do anything.
They did that to Yedojay too, and I'm so glad they freed my man from that. Although he's now playing Smokes, which, you know, very good Sentinel player. Foot, just in case you're wondering. Bambino, I'm
Better
talking to you.
smoker than Flickless, at least.
Sure. Yeah.
It was a tough last map.
You know.
You know, 3 rounds, 3 in a row. It's so doable for GX.
Shouldn't be.
It should not have been from an 11-3 deficit. It never should have been from so many rounds.
I should be on the train home right now.
I should be ordering food, but here we are. Fnatic struggling to take it across the finish line. Left to an eco here. Likely double digits. Somehow I do feel like this will be the round that they figure it all out.
Well, they've got Tour de Force and Overdrive, so it's like there are a few things that can pad the gap. They've also got Res if they get into a position to use it, and I always have faith that Alfia at any moment might just be like, right, you know what, I'm done with this game, I'm just going to win. So there's potential, but I don't know, it's starting to feel like the same problems they had before, just that little bit choky.
Oh. If at first you don't succeed, try to challenge Westside again. That's the play. This time Net's there to help him. They've lost the rotation. Boaster slipping through, threading the needle and using it to help out. Taking one down. Westside again stands against the forces of Fnatic, but this time surrounded. He's dealt with. And Alpha's Tour de Force claims another victim. Yeah. You're not getting through that. They know by now. They found Jesse.
Shadows traveling.
And his 1v4 begins and ends here? Question mark? That's not a bad start. He can start the defuse from here. Paranoia is perfect as well. Repositions with it. It could have been beautiful. A great idea from Jesse. But an Emoda Thrifty closes out the series for